It's been so long since I've done a podcast, I don't know what episode it is. I think it's 32. The last episode of the Woolverine podcast was filmed back in May. It is now January the 5th, 2019, which is crazy. Anyway, my name is Laura and I am the host of this podcast. As I said before, I haven't podcasted in a very long time, so for any previous viewers who are coming back, hello, I am still alive. For anyone who watched me during Vlogmas, this is kind of the general podcast. This is kind of what I use this channel for. Just kind of catching people up on what I'm working on and sharing ideas, getting ideas from you guys on projects that I can work on in my knitting. My name is Laura. I live in Kildare in Ireland with my family, my two sisters and my parents. Which I'm just after remembering my my usual spiel is that I live in Kildare with my parents, my two sisters and my cat Neo, but my cat Neo actually passed away in the last couple of months, which is kind of sad. Well, it's very sad, but yeah, so we have no pet at the moment. Hopefully we'll be able to encourage my mother to get one. But yeah, so this episode I just wanted to give you a kind of brief overview of my knitting projects for 2018. There's a lot of finished objects that I didn't actually share with you on the podcast, but if you go over to my Ravelry project page, which I'll link down below, you can kind of see them all there. I'm semi-decent at keeping my project pages up to date. I don't put in many notes, but I do have pictures and things of things I've knitted. I will show you one or two FOs, just ones that I particularly like from the year, and yeah, I'll show you all the whips I have outstanding and then my Make 9 plans. So that's gonna be the running order of things. So yes, I will kick things off with some finished objects. So I thought I'd show two garment objects that I finished in 2018 that I hadn't shown on the podcast. So this one is very pink. It is the Ginkgo jumper by Bee Mandarins, or Melanie Hoffman. Oh my god, I knit this so long ago. But this is a very deep back V-neck with a little tie, an I-cord tie, big kind of bat wing type sleeves, and it's quite short and quite cropped. So that's the back. The front is also a V and it is quite deep as well. So I generally wear this with like a little vest top or something underneath. But yeah, it's knit in DK weight. I can't remember exactly what yarn I used. I think it's Rico design. It was a bunch of yarn I got for Christmas last year. But yes, I really like this, and it's really warm and it's nice over with a pair of jeans or over a dress or something like that. So yeah, that is one of my garment. I only actually knit 3 garments last year. I knit the Tegna, which I think I showed on a previous podcast, by Caitlin Hunter, and I knit the Ginkgo by Bee Mandarins, and then as well I finished over Christmas my Kerry Town. I still need to weave in the ends and wash that, but that is going to happen today, I swear. So this is the Kerry Town by Annie Lupton, and it is knit out of Irish Fairy Tale yarns in the 75-25 merino sock in the DK weight, and it is colorway is Golden Cobra. So I adore this. I love cables. I'm wearing my Chuck actually at the moment, which is very not dissimilar to this pattern at all. But yeah, so there's a nice big chunky cable going down the middle, and the back just has kind of garter ridges all the way down. It's a split hem, so it's longer in the back and shorter in the front, which I like too, and it sits really nicely. The neckline is quite nice as well. It's not too tight, but it's fitted. And the sleeves, the pattern was 3/4 length or bracelet length, I think, but I did full length sleeves. And it's a drop shoulder. So yeah, just need to give this a good wash and block and weave in the ends, and then I will be wearing it. But I adore this. It's so thick and warm and good, because at the moment in Ireland it's quite cold. January I find to be one of the colder months of the year, so that will come in handy for the month of January. So they're the two kind of finished objects I'm going to show for today. I will, as episodes go on, if you guys are interested, if you want to leave a comment below, if you look on my Ravelry page and you're interested in knowing anything more about any of the other projects I knit in 2018, let me know and I can update you guys. Most of them I have, some were gifts, so if they're gone I can't show them, but yeah, I should be able to give you an overview. So in total I knit 6 pairs of socks, so I failed on my box of socks. Oh well, there's always this year. It is another goal this year to knit 12 pairs of socks, so I haven't started a pair yet, but you never know. I knit 3 jumpers, and then accessories wise I knit myself 2 hats, and then I knit another 2 as gifts. I knit myself a pair of underwing mitts, and I knit a second pair for a friend for Christmas. And yeah, baby knits, there was a few babies born, I did some gift knitting for them, so there was about 4 or 5 kind of baby knits in there too. And then I have 2 kind of shawls. I've got the Exploration Station, which I wear to death, and my Midsummer Haze cowl, which is a pattern by Joji Locatelli, which I adore as well. And I've knit that back in August, I'd say, and I haven't worn it because I need to wash and block it still. So now that I've remembered, I'm going to write down on my to-do list to do with my carry town today. Yes, so that's pretty much, I kind of lost my knitting mojo a little bit this year. I didn't knit as many projects as I did in 2017, but I did enjoy knitting all the projects that I have. There are still a number outstanding, which I will go through now. So where to start? Let's start here. So this is probably the most long term. I think this may have been in my 2018 review of my whips. So I started this pair of Julebook mitts by Ellie of Skeyndir, and I haven't knit 1 stitch on these since I took a break. Now I may have to frog them because I don't know what needles I'm using. I took the needles off to start another project, and I don't think I have to check my Ravelry project page to see if I had said what needle size I was using. I don't think I got gauge, or well, Ellie, the way Ellie does gauge, she doesn't really suggest a needle size that much. She kind of just gets you to swatch and figure out from there. So this was my real first attempt at colour work, and it is a bit bumpy. So I may rip this out and start again. I really love the cuff on these. Sorry, I have my Fitbit on, so it's not doesn't look that great. But they have a kind of double, like a double brimmed almost cuff, and it's really nice and delicate. There's a bit of lace in there too. So this yarn is really crunchy and rustic. It is Briar Patch, which is a farm in New Zealand, I believe. And I got this on a special very long time ago, when they were in trouble. They were in trouble and the farm was going to be closed down, I believe, or the company was going to be closed down, and they put on a very big sale to try and save it. So it's just this really deep dark grey and this cream what I'm using for them mittens. So I'm kind of at a crossroads as to whether I should frog these or figure out what stitches or figure out what gauge I used, needle size, and finish these off. I really do love the mitten and I love the pattern, but I might just start again, perhaps. What do you think? To frog or not to frog? That is the question. And also, I'm not sure if I will use them until next year now, so it's a dilemma, but we'll think about it. And I'm going to sneeze now. Chew! Bless me. So that is my longest whip, which has been just kind of gathering dust just because I don't know what to do. I have given them some thought, but not actually done much with them. My next whip is my granny stripe blanket. This is probably my second most long-term whip and will be going forever. If any of you watched my Vlogmas, you will know that this is a monster. I went into a lot of detail, not detail, but I just showed this a lot throughout Vlogmas as I was working on it with minis that I got from Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. So this is my granny stripe blanket. It is really wide and not very deep at the moment, but let me see. So I put a progress keeper in before Christmas, so I've done about, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 rows on this, which is not an easy task as it is so wide. So here we go. The stripes are not uniform and I just keep going with a mini until it's gone, pretty much. I've made a magic ball now out of all my minis. I will show you that. So I have this giant magic cake ball to add, and then I've started making a second magic cake ball of other minis that I have. So once this one's gone, I have another one to keep working on. So this is kind of a project that I can just pick up if I don't feel like knitting. It's a crochet, it's the only crochet project I have. So yeah, it's just if I feel like something different for a change, which is really nice to have. I honestly don't know how I used to podcast in this bedroom because my dryer is here and it's making so much noise. I feel like you're going to be definitely able to hear it. Yes, this house is never quiet. But moving on. So I just closed my notes there, which was not good. So where are we? Next, I showed these on Vlogmas as well. So these are just a pair of design socks that I am working on. When I say design socks, I've designed 3 pairs of socks, I suppose, at this stage. Which mainly means I've just made up a pattern as I was going along for myself, and I still haven't written any of them up, and I keep meaning to and I never do, but I will. New Year's resolution, I will write up some of the patterns and put them up. I might even sell them. I might just put them up for free, just so people, if anyone's interested. But this is just a tiny little slip stitch detail at the moment. This yarn is Ellie and Ada, and it's just a small cable run down the back at the moment. Yeah, this yarn is Ellie and Ada. I got it, it was one of the Irish Dye Junkie yarns. I can't remember the colourway name, but yeah, it's red and pink and orange and very vibrant, and I like it. There's a giant mess going on here which I need to sort out, but yes. So I've put no work into these in about 2 months either, so I'll have to do that at some stage. I have a lot of plans, kind of. I've like a yearly plan of the projects that I want to make this year, and then I've got it broken down into months and then broken down into weeks. So I'm going to be very focused on my crafting this year. Another pair of socks that I have on the go is just a pair of scrappy socks, which I've shared on Instagram before as well, if you follow me there. So these are just vanilla scrappy socks, just adding different minis, just not wasting, but using up every scrap of these beautiful colorways. So this one is Babbles Traveling Yarns in her August Skies colorway. This is Sweet Sparrow Ice Cream Shop. This is Fine Fish Yarns in a trio kind of set that I got. I think it's like a one of a kind. This is also one of them, and then this kind of minty green is also Sweet Sparrow. This is Fairy Hair by Sugar Tots. This is Pistachio by Hedgehog Fibers, and this is a Regia Perfect. So I'm using quite pastel colours, and they're matching scrappy socks. So yes, that is a pair of socks that I have on the go. So I'm just going to keep going lengthwise, and then I'm going to cut in an afterthought heel after, and I'm doing that in this dark colour, which is, this is Eggplant by Malabrigo sock. So that is my scrappy socks, and 2 projects left. So on Christmas, I didn't actually get a chance to do a Christmas Eve cast on as it was my birthday, and we just didn't have much time I wasn't at home for very much of the day, so I didn't get time to cast on a project. So this is my Christmas Day cast on, and I decided to cast on the Northeasterly Blanket by Skeynanigans, who is Melissa, and this, I'm sure everyone has seen this blanket before. It is sweeping the knitting world by storm, and rightly so. It's a beautiful blanket and a beautiful kind of change to kind of cozy memories. Instead of the mitered square ones, this is something a bit different. So this is mine so far. So I used some of them. So my plan was kind of to use more kind of pastel tones in this blanket rather than the mishmash anything goes in my granny stripe. So these are quite pastel me-ish colours. So this is the Babbles August Skies. This is a mini I got in a swap last year. This is Ellie and Ada in her Unicorns and Glass Slippers colourway. This is Fairy Hair again. This is Maven by Fine Fish Yarns. This is another mini I got in a swap. This is another mini I got in a swap. This is Drops Fable in the rose print, I think. I knit a pair of socks in that. This I got in a swap, this I got in a swap, this I got in a swap, this I got in a swap. And this is Fine Fish in a one of a kind colourway, and this is Circus Tonic handmade in the blue bonnet. I always say blue bonnet, I don't know why. I decided that bird is French. I think it's a bird. I always mean to look this up and never do. But yes, this is mine so far, and I really, really love it. I've got some really nice minis to add in. So I got a set of minis from Nora George. So because I'm focusing on the pastel colours, I took out these 3 from my Nora George set that I got, and I can't wait to add them in. I also have some Kate Celine ones that I got in my advent calendar from Viv. They're both going to go in as well. And then I have this one as well still to add in. This is Fawn the Fox in the Geode colourway. So I have lots of work left to do on that. So I'm really enjoying working on it. It's a lovely project. It was great for over Christmas because I could just take little bits with me when I was going out visiting. And excuse me. God. I'm keeping this in my Cottage number 9 bag, which I treated myself to for Christmas. Look at these bears, aren't they adorable? Look, why is the bear up in the tree having a nap with a bow on? Why not? Why not? There's a little squirrel. So yes, these bags are amazingly made. You can just, they're drawstring, and then they have a little handle. And this, I love this kind of minty periwinkle blue. It's so pretty. I love this bag so much. So Terry is an absolute dote as well. She's so lovely. So I will link her shop down below. You should all go check out her bags because she is amazingly talented. I have another one of her bags as well. It's stored away and there's no project in it at the moment, but it is one of my favorites too. So last but not least on my whips is my first project out of my Make 9. I started this on New Year's Day. So the first project I started was the Nordiska sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I will put a picture in around here somewhere. It is a cropped, oversized colourwork jumper that I really love. So I spotted this through Julie of Sweet Sparrow Yarns and Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folk. They cast it on before Christmas as a little impromptu kind of knit along together, and it's beautiful. So I will show you the yarn I'm using. So for the main body I'm using this beautiful Dusty Rose by Sweet Sparrow Yarns. This is on her Gosling base, which is merino, cashmere and nylon, and it is beautiful. So this is my main body colour. My dark contrast colour is going to be this navy, which never shows up, and I'm losing light, so I'm trying to angle it at the window so you can kind of see it. So yeah, that's not bad. So it is a dark navy, and this is called Raven's Wings by Irish Fairy Tale Yarns. So this is it. So far. And then for my other contrast colour I'm using this, which is Harvest by Townhouse Yarns in her Camden Tweed base. So this is the Tweedy base. I'm not sure if you can see it. There are neps of tweed in there. It's mainly dark kind of caramel with purples and pinks. So this is my colour palette for my Nordiska. Isn't it beautiful? I really am happy with this. I think it's going to be really pretty. So swatching for this was a bit of a nightmare. I have a very different gauge to Caitlin Hunter, it would seem. I remember when I was knitting my Tegna as well, I had to go up many needle sizes, and then the fabric I got was very loose, so I needed to just size the pattern up and knit a bigger size in order to kind of get it to fit me. So I had similar issues with the Nordiska. So it is so I think it's knit on a 3.5mm needle or a size 4, I think that is. I swatched, I couldn't find a 3.5mm needle at the time when I wanted to swatch, so I swatched with 3.75 and I was still miles off. So this is my little gauge swatch. I was still miles off gauge, so I went up to a size 4mm, so size 6, and I am now knitting a size bigger. So the sweater is knit with a 10 to 12 inch positive ease, it recommends. I don't want mine that big anyway, so there was a bit of calculating going on, and I managed to cast on finally. I found a size that suited on a 4mm needle. So I've done very little. I've just done the first kind of 7 rounds, I think, 7 rows, but I did cast it on New Year's Day, and then it got put to one side. So this is what's going to be getting a lot of love for the next few weeks. But yes, I really am excited about the colour choices. Also, I love, talking of stitch markers, these are my favourites. These are by Cocoa Knits. They're just snagless rings. They're the colourful ones. I like the coloured ones. They're just the little rings and I love them. They're my favourite. They're my favourite stitch markers. So I had them in because I needed stitch markers to kind of show where the raglan and increases in are and the little cables. So yes, I am really super excited to get properly going on that. I just didn't have much time this week being back to work, but I have put it in my plan to get a good bit of it done this weekend. You'd swear that it is really late because the light is going. It is actually only, my Fitbit's just reminding me that I did 250 of my 250 steps in the last hour. Thank you, Fitbit. I don't know what time it is. It is 3 o'clock. So I don't know how it is so dark, but there's no light in this country anymore. Anyway, that is my first of my Make 9 projects. I'm keeping this in my rucksack, bag, satchel, beautiful, gorgeous waxed canvas bag that I got from Emerald Fibres, who is the lovely Kira, who no longer makes bags, which is, I believe, but I was lucky enough to get this beautiful one at Woolen last year. So yes, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the 9 projects that I'm doing for my Make 9. I won't go into detail of what yarn I'm using. Oh my god, excuse me. Because I want to kind of show that throughout the year. I do have yarn for most of the projects already, which is good. I'm going to get rid of my stash this year. That is the goal. So it's a lot of garments. So I want to knit the Nordiska, the Tecumseh, and these Zweig jumpers, all by Caitlin Hunter. I have the yarn for my Zweig and the Nordiska. I don't have for the Tecumseh yet. I'll probably do the Tecumseh later in the year because it's a heavier weight jumper. So yes, I still have time to shop around for yarn for that. The other jumpers I want to knit are the Ranunculus, which was on my Make 9 for last year. I never got around to it, but I do have the yarn for that already too. So that's quite light, so I'm going to knit that probably around the summertime. I want to knit a pair of Waiting for Henry socks by Tabby of the Hey Sister podcast. I also want to knit 12 socks for the year, but that's just one that I really want to knit, and I will probably cast them on once I have free sock needles from either my scrappy socks or my design socks. So I have DPNs and I have other sock needles that I could use, but I feel like I want to clear them to projects first before I start another pair of socks. Another jumper that I wanted to knit is the Topaz jumper, which is by Kristen, I can't remember. I will link it down below. It is beautiful. It's in the new issue of Making Stories, the Jewels issue. It is a colour work jumper, kind of shards and diamonds kind of thing. It's really nice. The colours she did it in were beautiful. Really dark, kind of moody colours. I have yarn for that also. Mine is a completely different colour palette. It's more light and airy, kind of whimsical colours, which generally is what I like to knit. So I need to buy the book of patterns in order to knit it. I have looked at the book and there are a few patterns in it that I want to knit, so I'm happy enough to buy the book. There's 12 patterns in the book and I will probably buy that at the end of January as a treat to myself. Yeah, then another jumper I want to knit is the Evelyn by Amy Miller. It is a striped jumper with a little bit of lace detail on the end and button up back, which I think is really pretty. It's another kind of spring summer type jumper, so I'll probably knit it for the summer. But yes, I think that's really pretty. I do not have yarn for that yet, so that will be another purchase. And then accessory wise, I wanted to knit myself a sparkling cider hat. I have the yarn and the beads for that already. I've shared that on Instagram if you want to pop over and look at that post. I have posted the yarn that I want to use for that. I'll probably cast that on at some stage this month as well. And then the Vertices Unite shawl by Stephen West is the final pattern that I want to knit this year. It is it's great for kind of using big scraps. So I have kind of a lot of half skeins of fingering weight yarn that I want to use in my Vertices Unite. So I'm going to wait until I'm finished a couple of my garment projects for this year and use any of the big leftovers in my Vertices Unite shawl. So yes, I really love my exploration station, so I think this is another one of Stephen West's patterns that I would really like. So that's what my plan is there. So yes, they are my Make 9 projects. I'll put in my Make 9 picture post here just so you can see them all. But yeah, that is my plan for 2019. If there's anything else you would like to ask me, please do down below. I will be podcasting again in 2019. I'm not going to put myself under any pressure to do it weekly or bi-weekly, or whenever I feel like sharing what I'm working on with you guys, that's when I'll drop in. It will be a lot more regular than every 6 months, but I'm not going to put myself under pressure. Sorry about that. My mother just came in to chat with me, and I can't remember what I was saying now. Yes, I was talking about the regularity of my podcast. It will be more regular than it was last year. But yes, I'm not going to put any timelines on it, and just see how we go. Yes, I will leave it there because I'm going to be sitting in darkness in the next 5 minutes, and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to do some knitting. I don't know what I'll work on. I will check my plan. I also have to edit this and try and remember how I get it uploaded onto YouTube because it's been so long since I've done it. But anyway, I will see you all very soon. I hope everyone had a really amazing Christmas and are really kind of psyched and ready to go for 2019 because it is going to be a great year. Bye!